Efforts to address Colorado's transportation funding issues took a couple of different turns this week. The Independence Institute announced that they are working on a ballot measure that would redirect state funds toward transportation without raising taxes. Meanwhile, State Senator Jerry Sonnenberg, the #2 Republican in the Senate, said he will propose a bill that would fund local road projects using $100 million in current state funding rather than raising taxes. Natasha, transportation seems to be a bipartisan issue, but certainly addressing it does not. Are we going to get a transportation solution out of the legislature this year?
Possibly. I think and as you point out, if there's one thing that Coloradans can agree on in the spring after the winter weather and the warming temperatures have wreaked havoc with our streets, is that something needs to be done to upkeep them. I certainly drove over many a pothole on the way over here today. The problem is that it gets hung up on sort of three issues always, which is bipartisan, our internal party politics, this question of rural versus urban and where we spend our money, and then finally raising taxes, which most people don't really like. And with this, both of the two initiatives that you mentioned are in opposition to, are in reaction to a bipartisan bill that is moving forward right now that would raise taxes, that would look at improving I-25 and I-70. And as I said, it's bipartisan, so there's some agreement on that. But there's, I think, a long haul before it would actually pass at the Capitol.
Mary, it seems that Republican State Senate President Kevin Grantham has a tough road to hoe. When it comes to getting his bill passed, really anything through the Senate. Will this even pass Senate committee?
It's hard to say at this point. Certainly, reiterating what Natasha said there, I interviewed recently the CDOT Executive Director, Shailene Batt, at the CES Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, where they were touting a lot of the technological developments that the CDOT is, frankly doing a great job at. But what Shailene said is that, transportation funding in Colorado is like a growing family, rapidly growing family, planning a massive, much needed expansion on their home. And they have all the plans and all the ideas, and it's brilliant, and they say they're going to be the best in the nation and the world, and people are going to look at us for the example, but they don't have the money to do it. So it's a whole lot of talk, a whole lot of hot air, and at this point it seems like politics is winning the day and not a real solution. So we'll see how it plays out by the end of the session.
And Patty, this isn't the first time we've heard from the Institute with a ballot measure. This one, while I think the title is pretty good, Fix Our Damn Roads, it goes after a lot of sacred cows. Basically it says, oh, the legislature can pay for it as long as you don't mind cutting these dozen or so projects that some people actually care for. Does this one have a shot to getting it actually on the ballot and some success?
Well, if Caldera gets out and really pushes it, I would advocate he do what anarchists are doing in Seattle, which is going out on the roads and filling in the potholes themselves, which is a genius idea to get people behind you, because truly, as Natasha says, you are very aware of the state of Colorado's roads every time you try to drive through town and you hit one of those. So I think there is a will of the people to kind of come up with, to pay for some kind of road funding plan, but so many people are going to pick it apart that the odds of it getting onto the ballot in any kind of shape are unlikely.
Craig, you have some Republicans saying no taxes being raised at all. You have some Republicans willing to make a deal. Which side wins here?
Wow, this is a dangerous road full of political potholes. As a personal injury lawyer, I'm all in favor of this Seattle anarchist plan that Patty's come up with. We want good roads, but we want low taxes. Some claim that the Democrats are letting this implode, kind of like Obamacare with the GOP, because it puts the people who want higher taxes in tough shape. It's going to be an issue in the gubernatorial race, and the way we know that is George Brockler, the Arapahoe County DA, has written a piece for the Aurora Sentinel suggesting that we use the idea of Bill Owens and issue some trans bonds to finance it. That's a good idea from George Brockler, who should know about roads, because Arapahoe Road is one of the most messed up roads in all of Colorado.
That's a great full circle turn there, Craig. Well done.